no matter how beautiful the imagery, no matter how beautiful the video, whatever it is that AI creates, it's going to be missing that very important key element, which is, hey friends, if you're new to this channel, my name is Joel Santana, and I am an illustrator with 20 years experience working in the creative industry. I've had the honor to work on projects such as children's books, illustration for advertising, mobile gaming studios, and worked with really fun brands like Disney, Champ Sports, and I've taught digital painting to over 30,000 students online. I created this channel to help equip people like you to learn the skills and gain the confidence that they need in order to create the things that I believe you were created to make. So be sure to subscribe if you're interested in more content, and now let's get back to the video. You know, it seems like one of the main topic of discussion that I've been finding myself having with other creative professionals, or even like younger students, people on social media who reach out to me, younger students who've taken my courses and things. And one of the things that I keep running into is this conversation on AI. And it's obvious, I'm sure you're having the same kind of conversation as well. And it's just this constant question of, what does the art world look like in the future with AI in it? Whether or not AI is going to be a part of, you know, the creative industry in the future or not, I don't think that's the question. I think that's very obvious to all of us that it is here and it's here to stay. But whether or not you should put down your paintbrush and choose a different career, I think is an entirely different thing. And I have my own point of view on that, and I've been pretty surprised to see some of the responses on AI, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot of, especially younger people, discouraged in pursuing art. And I think that my point of view might be something a little bit different from what you've been hearing and seeing, especially if you've been feeling discouraged about pursuing an art career. And so that's one of the things that I want to talk about in this video. You know, AI can spit out some really beautiful images. It used to be, and I was kind of hesitant towards admitting it, but it used to be that it's like, oh no, they don't look very good, or the hand has one too many fingers, or whatever, and it still does that kind of stuff. But it's only getting better, and it is producing not just cool pictures, but even video. And again, it's just going to continue to get better. But with all of those advancements, there is one thing that AI is not able to do, and I would argue is probably never going to be able to do. And it's this one thing that only you can offer, myself, and anybody else out there who has a passion for creativity. And that thing is the thing that I want to talk about in this video, and I'm going to share that with you and my perspective on AI and whether or not I believe that artists should continue to pursue a career or a future in the arts. You know, I think that great art historically has always been about communicating human truth through your lens, your perspective, your unique background, your struggles, your joys, your culture. All of these things, whether you're creating art that's more like romanticism or realism, has always been kind of filtered through your perspective in the world and these physical experiences that you've lived yourself in a way that AI wouldn't be able to replicate, at least not in an authentic way. And so this is the thing that I want to talk to you about in this video today, is that the thing that AI lacks, that only you and I can provide, is the lived human experience. Because people aren't just connected to the art, they're connected to the artist just as much as they're interested in the art. How many times haven't you looked at a painting, and one of the most common questions right after seeing something really cool is, who's the artist? Who painted that? Who created that? They want to know who painted it, why, you know? Maybe not everybody asks these questions, but I know that definitely artists tend to look at something and immediately you're wondering, who is the artist? And so I don't think that people are just after pretty pictures and pretty paintings, which is what AI is doing, and it's doing it very effectively. I think that they're also after that connection, that they're also after not just the cool art, they're not just buying into the cool art, but they're buying into the person behind it. Years ago, I used to travel to Comic-Con shows, and there was one show in Chicago called C2E2 that I would go to often. It was a very big show, and I remember going there. One year, one of my customers came up to my table and he was just like, hey man, you're back again this year. He had bought work from me the year prior, and I had met him at the show, and then he followed me on social media for the year, and so he knew that I was coming back. And so he came by my booth saying, hey man, I was excited that you were coming back this year. And I was like, okay, awesome, cool. We had some small talk. And then he goes, okay, I want one of everything that you have. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I had sets of paintings. I had like little collections, like a series. But my table was basically full of prints, canvases, t-shirts. I had like coasters on one side. It was just all kinds of stuff everywhere. So I thought, when he said one of everything, I thought, okay, so you want one of this series that I have here, these like this collection? And he's like, no, like one of everything that you have. And I remember thinking, like, I looked over at my brother and I'm like, what? I'm sure I didn't use this verbiage at the time, but I was like, what's the protocol for, like, when somebody just wants one of everything? Because at the time I was like, I'm used to, if somebody wants a print, hey, we put it in this bag. If they want a t-shirt, whatever, we use this size bag. But what do you do when somebody just wants one of everything? And I was like, so, like, I told him, I was like, I've got like t-shirts and canvases. Like, he's like, yeah, man, just one of everything that you have. I was like, okay. And I have coasters over there. That's like, they come in like a pack of, I was like, and he was like, yeah, everything, just one of everything that you have. I want it. And I was like, and the canvases. And he was like, yes, one of it, like everything. And I remember just being blown away and thinking, what in the world? Like, no one had ever done that. And just through, obviously, so we're grabbing all this stuff, and through conversation with him, I just realized he likes my art. And I'm not trying to not be confident in the work that I was making. It was good work, but I realized in that moment that he was buying all of this, not just because he liked my art, but he liked just me as a person. He was buying into me. Had he not had a person behind, let me phrase it this way. Had he not known the person, the human behind the work, I don't think that would have happened. I don't think that he would have just seen a cool drawing on my Instagram and said, oh, that's cool. Send an email. Hey, Joel, can I just buy one of it? I don't think that would have happened. But in him getting to know me and meeting the person, for whatever reason, he just thought, oh, this is a cool guy. It makes me like his work even more. And I just think that this is a good example of something that AI will never be able to replace. Is it going to be able to create really beautiful paintings and all of this stuff? Are people going to use that and in some ways really make a damaging impact on the industry? Yes. But I think at the end of the day, still so many people are going to be drawn to, again, not just the artwork, but who is the artist behind it. And that's one of the things that I've noticed really from a sales perspective, looking at art as a business. That's one of the things that has really helped my sales increase, is every time that I've just kind of been able to make those sorts of connections. Have you ever watched a really good movie trailer and you're like on the edge of your seat, you're thinking, wow, this looks really good. And then the words come up, based on a true story. And then your level of interest just instantly shoots up 10 times higher. I think that's because we can't help but to be drawn to true stories, to real people. And what if I told you that the art that you create could impact people in the exact same way? And that right there is what I believe that AI will never be able to replace. Your true story, your true lived human experience, and the fact that people are just naturally drawn to true stories by real people. I just feel like that's something that no matter how beautiful the imagery, no matter how beautiful the video, whatever it is that AI creates, it's going to be missing that very important key element, which is that human connection. And I think that as people, you're looking, again, as I mentioned before, who is the person behind this cool art piece? Which is why it's not hard to understand why even in social media, you've been seeing a push for, hey, share a little bit more about yourself, show your face, let people see who the artist is. At the end of the day, I really do believe that your life experiences, the good and the bad, all of it is really your greatest weapon against AI. And not just your greatest weapon, but the greatest reason to continue to create, no matter what technological advances AI continues to make. I think these true life experiences is what people really want to hear. The wonderful, messy journey that brought you right to this video here today. I think that's your greatest weapon. That's what makes your art uniquely you. And so you really need to lean into those experiences and create from the place of that testimony that God blessed you with, because I guarantee you that if you create from that place of truth, of authenticity, I guarantee you that somebody out in this world needs to hear that. That somebody out there in your audience needs to hear that and will be inspired or encouraged by it. So again, what are things that you can offer that AI can't? AI can make pretty pictures, but AI can't fall in love. It can't have its heart broken. It can't feel the presence of God. AI can't experience a moment of joy after months of hardship. AI can't genuinely care. And the awesome thing is that only you and I can experience those things. And only you and I can authentically create cool and true stories from those experiences. So to put it simply, your life experiences are your greatest weapon against AI. So keep making art, because the world needs the real human stories that only you were created to tell. And keep the fire alive, my friends.